Hello. Hey, everybody. An hour early. I know, I'm an hour early. Thank you for joining two people in the chat. We are small but mighty. Three people. Wow, look at us. We're a celebrity. We are a celebrity. It is a cold evening in Los Angeles, so I am wearing a sweater and a jacket over my shoulders. And by cold, I mean 60 degrees. It is 60 degrees. I don't know how I used to live in New York City and just trudge around in like -3, -5 degrees. Well, now we're down to 1. That's okay. Someone's coming in here. That's okay. I need to stop looking at numbers. So I do live in Hollywood if you're just joining, and you're going to hear a lot of commotion. Sometimes helicopters flying up above, sometimes people breaking in, sometimes fights in the streets, sometimes police. It's a fun game we call living in the city. Hey, Clifford. Hey, Clifford, thanks for joining. Can you all hear me? Am I talking loud enough? Should I get it closer? This is my first cigarette of the day. Ooh, sorry, guys. I know it's really déclassé of me to be smoking on camera. There's also somebody coming in our gate. Our gate doesn't really lock, and I tell the neighbors to pretty please lock it, and they don't. And then people coming in. And then one time, somebody came in looking for them, and then they realized, oh yeah, we should lock the gate, because people would come in like and steal our stuff on the porch all the time, like skateboards, bicycles, anything that wasn't locked down. People would just like open the door and grab it, which is really scary because as you can see these windows, you can just take a rock and then bust on through. I think they're neighbors. And then it took somebody looking for them, because we were like, please lock the door, and they didn't. And then they finally locked the door when somebody from, not ICE, but, oh, thanks, Clifford, sounds good. Not ICE, but, what do you call it? Who's those people? Census. I think ICE and the census are very tied up. The census guy, and I've said this in a stream earlier, I get a knock in the back door, and it's at night, and this guy's like, hey, I'm from the census, I'm coming to count how many people live here. And I was like, it's at night, dude, and I don't know you. And he was like, I've tried you many times. And I was like, you haven't contacted me. Come to find out, it was the back house, and there's a lot of people living there. I don't know who they are. Sometimes I don't even see people. And he wanted to go in and like physically count the people in there. That makes me question the census, to be honest. I don't know if they have our best interest at heart. I don't know if the government does, basically. I mean, lately, any sane person that looks around and is like, oh, the government loves us, they're not a sane person. I did a whole video today about my anger with the government. I couldn't make it last time because I was driving across America. Hey, count backwards. You were driving across America? What did you see? Did you see Wyoming? Did you see Kansas? Ohio? I forget how big, and there goes a helicopter. I forget how big America is. And I was going to go see my mother in Mississippi. And I said, oh, I'll come drive to you. Like, I would love to come drive and, like, experience America. But then, like, you look at the states in between, and it would be a 3-day drive to go to Mississippi. And also some of these states, like, I've definitely driven through northern Louisiana and the Louisiana-Texas border, and they do not want me there. They don't want me there at all. They don't like me. There's like good old boys looking at their trucks staring at me like I'm pumping gas, and they're just like people just looking at you like with a nasty face, and I'm just like, I don't know what you want from me. I'm just like getting gas and going through. Like they get really angry. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll fly. Maybe instead of the 3 days driving, I'll take a 9-hour flight and surpass all of that bullshit. Ooh, I saw a lot of the green state towards New York. Lots of Wawas and industrial sites. Yeah, the people think New York is only New York City, and in fact, New York is a lot of Wawas, a lot of industrial sites. Excuse me, a lot of small towns. I think I went even upstate New York. Like these small towns, they don't want you there, or they didn't want me there. I was just driving through like upstate, and I remember it being very smoggy and very sort of chill, and no one on the streets, and like again pumping gas, and the people just like staring at me, and I'm like, I don't. I'm sorry, guys. Very much scared for my safety. Which maybe I should get a gun. And I know I've mentioned that in many podcasts or in many streams. I feel like just give women all of the guns, you know what I mean? And crime would be solved. People stare at me in the South instead of the North, which is weird because I've never lived in the South. Because I've lived in the South forever. So they stare at you in the South instead of the North. Count backwards. I mean, people stare, man. They stare. They don't like it. They don't like new things. There goes another helicopter. And there goes a police siren. People like to stare. I remember moving around the South a lot, and like a big part of the reason why my childhood was so difficult is like if you're coming in new and you're coming in hot and fresh, and you're coming to live there, they want to make it known that you are not welcome unless you accept like this town's thing. And each town has their own thing. Each town there has their own little mayor, and their own like hypothetical hierarchy, I guess. And if you don't obey by that, then you are fucked. Oh, let's check in the Citizen app. Let's check Citizen. Let's see. Citizen app. This is a fun game we play on the podcast on the stream where I check Citizen app, and Citizen app is it's an app that connects to police recorders, so you can see what is going on. Brandishing a gun in custody. Report of a man in a Mercedes-Benz pointing gun at vehicle. Suspect brandishing a gun at custody. Police are in report. Blah, blah, blah. Orange and Fountain, very close to me. Nearby incident. So there was a nearby incident of a man just waving a gun, and it matches the description of the vehicle. Traveling southbound. All right. Great. So there's a man traveling southbound with a gun, and that's what the helicopters are for. I never get why people want to escape the police via vehicle, and I've thought about this a lot. I feel like if you want to escape the law, what you do is you get your phone, you keep the tracker on, and you get on a bus, and then you leave your phone on the bus. You just like get on the bus and just like throw it under a seat, and then just let that tracker go, and then get on a subway and head southbound, and then get on an Amtrak and head west or east, head east. And you don't want to go where people are suspecting you. So like people know that my family lives in Mississippi, Louisiana, so I wouldn't go there. But you also don't want to go where people are staring at you, like I was saying earlier. So maybe I think your best choice is to go hide in a very big city. Like go hide in like a Chinatown of a very big city. There's too many people. They have their own laws. Nobody's going to come looking for you. That's my tips. If you want to hide from the government. My friend in high school, she said she ran from the police and just hid out in like bad areas, in like very bad areas. She just like hid her car, parked it way back, turned off the lights, waited as the police went, and then just went this other way. But you hide in like big, dense areas. I one time was in traffic many years ago, and police tried to pull me over, and I was like very young, and I was like, fuck it. So I just kind of went and I escaped police. Cash only transportation. Yes. Yes, Jessica, you only pay in cash. That's why every girl, every proper young woman has to have an envelope full of cash, full of small bills. So you can get to the subway, pay in cash. If you see somebody on a motorcycle, flag them down and say, hey, I'll pay you in these small bills if you can take me like 20 minutes that way or whatever. I mean, I don't know if a motorcycle artist would do that, but it's worth trying. It's worth trying. Anybody here who drives a motorcycle, let me know. If somebody flagged you down and they say, I'll pay you $50 cash to drive me 20 minutes in this direction, would you do it? Anybody in the comments section, let me know. That's my goal. You got to carry cash and you got to take your phone and misdirect it because everybody else is going to be like, oh, she's headed this way down over there. And then you really headed over there. Rolls of quarters. Yes, rolls of quarters. If someone said they had a room for rent in East Hollywood for $500, would you say go for it or is that a red flag? Well, count backwards. If someone had a room for rent in East Hollywood, East Hollywood's a big place and it might be kind of far out, which it might be worth it, you know? It might be kind of small, but also $500 right now, people could use $500, you know? Maybe that's not like, maybe they just want to like make a buck and they like cleaned out an extra room they had in the house. Maybe ask for pictures, ask for a virtual tour. Ask for a virtual tour. That's the thing with Zoom. So you get their face in real time, proving who they are, and like the camera around the room. And if they say no and they don't know how to use it, that's a red flag. But I would say most people could use $500 right now. So they probably like cleared out a room. And also East Hollywood's a big place. So it could be good. Are you going to move to LA? Are you going to move to where the city of helicopters? And yes, Johnny Chambers, rolls of quarters are great. I remember because I've been like, I have a big pocket of change. And like, whenever I feel anxious, I roll change in little packets because it's like something to do with my hands. And then it's like a goal I've accomplished. Like, I look at all the things. So I roll the quarters and the pennies and the dimes, right? And this is back in coin shortage time, like a couple months ago. There's like a big coin shortage. And I go to the bank and I was like, all right, well, because I was going to keep them and like sell the coins for a bigger profit. But then I was like, no, the coins need to go back for humanity into circulation. So I go to the bank and and I'm like, I'll put them back in circulation for whatever. And then somebody cuts me in line at the bank. Again, about the cutting in line thing. I talked about this last week. I don't like a line cutter. And I was like, should I put these in circulation? Does humanity deserve it? Do they deserve it? Because I don't know. I don't know if we do. It took one person cutting a line. That one person could have, like, what if they just changed human history forever just by cutting a line and they had no idea? It was an old Russian woman, by the way. And old Russian women will cut you in line and not bat a fucking eye. When you say, hey, you cut me in line, they don't give a fuck. And it's probably because they lived through a lot of bad, hard times and are just very selfish to put yourself ahead because you have to. Because I think if you're going through very bad times and you're just like caring more about others than yourself, then you will starve. Good advice. Always wondering if I should move, but too chicken to leave my place. Well, count backwards. Why would you like to move? Would you like to move for just a fresh new start, or you know, are you happy at your place? I mean, I'm always advocate for moving, but that's because I moved a lot as a kid, so I wouldn't want to say move just because screw it, because that's what my family did a lot. If you have children, I would say really debate it because, you know, it's kind of traumatizing for children to keep moving. But if you don't have kids, move. You know, if it's $500, it might be difficult to get a job right now in Los Angeles. Mm. I mean, you could work for Amazon or Target or Ralph's, very easy. I used to work at Ralph's myself. It's not that bad of a job. I mean, it's got benefits and you have your certain hours. There is violence among coworkers. I remember going to a training meeting and the woman started it off. She said, knife fights, fist fights, screaming matches, blood. That I have seen in the Ralph's kitchen. We're like, what? Or I was like, excuse me? But it was just kind of like nodding, you know? But yeah, there is like I would say it's a good job, but Ralph's, you will have a lot of animosity with coworkers. I mean, I got along with everybody that I worked with because I get along with everybody. I mean, we would just talk about like, what's your family up to? What's your mom doing? Oh, you have issues with this? Let's talk about it, you know, and I would like bond with people. But a lot of people they just because you're working in the Ralph's like chicken kitchen and cutting up these chickens and you have this big butcher knife and people get in arguments, they fucking swing at each other. But that's on the down low, and I'm probably not allowed to say that. Also, the time of Ralph's freshest fried chicken is at 6 p.m., 3 p.m., and noon. So go around that time if you want the fried chicken cooked fresh. But yes, they will fight you with a knife if you rub them the wrong way. It is like being in a prison, kind of. A little bit. A little bit. There's a lot of people with a lot of emotional stuff going on, you know? And I'm good talking with people. I'm very good at this, at being very diplomatic and like nobody ever messed with me. But I mean, man, I was also very like, I'm in the corner, you know? If people want to put themselves in the spotlight and I've seen people go in there and be like, I'm the queen, and then just get fucking decimated. So it's really like prison rules when you want to work at the grocery store. And I haven't worked in the grocery store for like about 3 years. So I imagine it's a little more now, especially because COVID and whatnot. I did go there today because I needed some kosher salt for a recipe I'm putting out tomorrow. And the kosher salt was very high up on the shelves. So a man was working with his apron and his thing. So I knew he's working there and he was much taller than me. And I said, "Excuse me, sir, could you please?" And he like backed away. And I'm pretty far away from him. Like I respect boundaries. And he backed away really hard. And I was like, "Could you please like go like, you know, get the thing up there?" And he's like, "What do you want?" Like she was very flustered. Um, and I can see that because a lot of people there was a rock and roll Ralph's that came down with COVID pretty hard right when it first broke out. Um, I don't. I think because the Rock and Roll Ralphs, that's the one I started off at. It has a lot of houseless people that kind of come in and they would like to, you know, try the soup for free out of the ladles with their own mouths. You know, never trust a salad bar. Man, there were so many people. Those salad bars at the Rock and Roll Ralphs, they would take a ladle and then put it to their mouth. And like, yeah, like I would clean the ladle and like, but the boss would be like, "Don't change out the soup. We don't have enough soup." And I'm like, putting the ladle back and like this whole thing is this whole thing is bad. So that's why I don't really eat out a whole lot. And I don't get a lot of prepackaged foods because I've seen the hell that comes with that. Definitely a lot of like chefs I've seen that were on death row with sickness, just like sneezing into a chicken parm. And they were like, you know, this is even before COVID. Now it's a little more, you know, "Oh, you feeling sick? Please leave." But back in the day, you'd have servers who would be like, "Oh my God, I have diarrhea. I'm so sick." And like, they couldn't call out. You're not allowed to call out. So you would literally see, let's call her L, uh, going to the bathroom. I would take care of the tables for like a full, like 5 minutes, which is doesn't sound long, but it is in the scope of time of waiting tables. And she'd just be blown at her asshole and then wash and wipe and then just go and serve you the salad and the chicken parm that the chef just sneezed on. I know that sounds really horrible, but it's 1,000% true. I yeah, I don't really eat out. I mean, unless it's like I want to try this new cuisine or try this new place. I want to experience something like that. Sure, I'll eat out. Or like maybe like I've been cooking, and I just want a thing from this place that I trust. Sure, yes. But just like eating out just for the heck of it, you go get some snot. You go get some snot on that Parmesan. I do eat a lot, but I make most of my food. So I figure it's got less preservatives and salt and sugar, so it's fine. I worked at Applebee's and the entire restaurant had the flu, and every hour the manager would call us into the office to do shots of Dayquil. Yes, GT. Everybody had the flu. Oh my God, that's something that's going to change after the pandemic, I think, is people being more mindful of, oh, I have the flu. Oh, I'm sick. Can I please, like, can I please go home and take care of myself? Because in the past, it would be like, just take shots of Dayquil. Just go shit it out and wash your hands. And then, like, for sure, get other people sick. There's a lot of sick ass people. There's also like when you have greens, like collard greens or spinach or whatever, make sure you wash them thoroughly. Even the bag, even if the bag says, "Oh, I've been washed," no need to wash me. I've been washed. Wash those greens because everyone's lying to you. They have not been washed, and greens carry a little bug in them. And if you ingest that bug, it's going to get you sicker than if you ate raw meat. It's really, I'm just talking about sickness. I'm sorry, guys. Let's talk about something nice. But wash your greens. Wash them and put a little bit of, get some apple cider vinegar. I would say that's a good investment. It's probably like $3 at the grocery. And the apple cider vinegar with the mother, shake it up. That's good. You wash like a couple of capfuls with your greens. Do a capful in your coffee pot to clean it out once in a while. I would say like once a week when you make, after you make coffee, just do some water and a capful of apple cider vinegar and it'll clean out your pipes so you get fresh coffee. Also, if you have like a bug problem outside of your house, I know some people clean with vinegar inside their house, but the problem with that, it's going to smell like vinegar. So outside of your house, if you have like a little bug problem, mix some vinegar with water and just kind of throw it, and bugs are gone. Bugs are gone because they don't like it. Man, I'm just talking about like sickness and bugs. Oh my God. One time at the grocery store, I saw someone going through several bags of grapes and eating them. Yes. Yes, Douglas, you're absolutely right. I went to the grocery store with a very good friend of mine who's very nice, but we were looking at strawberries and she was like, "Are these strawberries fresh?" She's a little neurotic. That's okay. I'm friends with all kind of people. And then she just opened up the case and then ate a strawberry. And I'm like just like did this. I feel like the strawberries should be weighted to make sure they're the same weight, and also like you just reached your hand in there. Like I bet like pre-COVID, or sorry, pre-COVID, we probably all seem like Neanderthals, or like the stories we say before COVID. I might as well have been in the medieval period and been like, oh, I go to the bathroom and wipe myself with my hands, and I don't wash my hands. I go eat some soup. Like that's what they did. And that's why they got the Black Plague. You know what I mean? Like nasty shit like that. Like all these stories I say like pre-COVID are just like eating the grapes, eating the strawberries. It's so nasty. I mean, I want to change a little bit, but also mm, we should have like a little bit of immune buildup. You know what I mean? Like babies have good immune systems because they're just out. I really think COVID is the worst for children because babies should be like held by their uncle or their aunt and like crawling on some weird floor and then just oh, there they go. They're walking around over there, and like experiencing new things, like putting things in their mouth. And they can't really do that anymore. But that's how they build their immune system. My friend has a kid who is like talking age, like 4-ish. And she was just like, quarantine, COVID, quarantine. Like, that's just all she knows because that's all she's ever heard. And that's really sad. Love the classy night in stream with everyone the other night. Hey, thanks, Douglas. Gigs in the big thing that will seem strange going back to. Yeah. Yeah, gigs, festivals, people sharing water bottles. That'll all be a thing of the past. I mean, or we're all going to be so tired of it and then do it way more hardcore. Like if you look at like the 1912 flu thing and then the 20s, the roaring 20s, where everybody was just like in slutty dresses, drinking out of each other's champagne glasses, in speakeasies, dancing till the sun came up. It might go either or. I don't know. I've definitely been buying a lot more revealing clothing. And I think it's funny because I'm like, I'm going to wear this slutty ass dress with a mask, of course, but like, look at my ass. I still work out in quarantine, which, by the way, I went and got a dress at Goodwill the other day. And I was like, because I looked at it and I measured it, but I measured it towards my old measurements. And I've been like working out a lot more and lifting weights and like eating, but I only eat in here. So it's only like vegetables, fruits, meats, grains, flour, fresh, but it's still a lot more. So I'm gained weight, but I don't look like it. I don't feel like it, but like my chest and my hips, way big. I couldn't fit the dress over my hips. I couldn't fit it over my hips. Where in the past I could. I broke the zipper. I ruined this dress immediately. So I've got bigger hips and bigger ass. Thanks, COVID. But I've been reading a book all on it's all on Satanism, this book, but the book isn't about worshiping Satan, which Satanists don't. Satanists don't worship the devil. I am not a Satanist. Satanists just worship themselves. But the book is about how people can manipulate others. It's interesting to see the facts. I don't want to use a lot of them myself because I'm not like, it's almost at a psychopathic level, you know what I mean? But there's some interesting things. Like they say, women, no need to like diet anymore. People like a full woman. And I was like, oh, okay. They also said something they say a lot of really interesting things. One is the shadow self with pets. So like when somebody has a pet and the pet is like opposite looking from them. So say you have a very stocky woman with a tiny chihuahua, or say you have a big bodybuilder with a little tiny poodle, or like a tiny slimmy woman with a giant Doberman. So those pets you're never supposed to touch because those pets are the owner's shadow self. And your shadow self you want to protect. Your shadow self is often what is contradictory to what you say you are. It's the reason why a lot of good men, like, I'm just a good family man, and then they go cheat on their wives with a prostitute. Or a lot of preachers are like, I'm a good preacher, or gays being wrong, and then you see them tapping their foot underneath the bathroom stall. Or a good example of this, of a shadow self, is like Paris Hilton. So Paris Hilton, when you look at her, you would think, oh, this is a party girl. She wants to be out. She wants to be seen. She's she's all flashy. But then when you look at her documentary, which I'd recommend watching, and like read some of her interviews, she's actually very dormant. She likes being inside. She wants to be inside in her sweatpants, chilling out. That's all she wants. But that's her shadow self. So the pets that are like directly physically opposite from people, that is their shadow self. So you're not supposed to approach these pets because people will guard their shadow self. They want to guard it, they want to protect it. No one else is supposed to know this. So if you were to go, pet that poodle, they would flip out. They don't like this. And I've in fact done that before. There was a big stocky man who had this sweet little dog, and I went to I just pet it without asking him, which is bad. But he looked at me like I like murdered a member of his family. He did not like that. He looked like he wanted to attack me. And I said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And he just kind of ran away. But apparently, you're not supposed to touch that. But if a pet looks like the person, like say you have a chatty woman with a bunch of parakeets and that's her pet, she wants you to come talk to her pets, right? Or say you have like a big stocky woman and she's got a big pit bull and she's the boss woman with this pit bull. She wants you to meet her pit bull, if that makes sense. Does it make sense? What book is it? It's called The Satanic Witch. It's called The Satanic Witch. I did read it. It is very silly. Some of the stuff they say in there, I'll never do. Like they say, I mean, there is a lot of truth to this, but I'm not going to do it. They say when you're on your menstrual cycle, you're putting off a lot of pheromones, and men are going to come to you. They're going to appear. They're going to come talk to you. So they suggest taking your menstrual blood, putting it on a little piece of cloth, wrapping it up, and wearing it around on an amulet. That's a little much for me. But I will admit, when I am on my period, men and also dogs come up and straight up smell my crotch. Like when I'm on my period. They straight up do. I know that's nasty, but I'm never going to do the period amulet. That's a little much for me. But I will say that when I am on my period, animals and men, they come to you. They smell you. They want to talk to you. What else did they say in the book? Oh, the law of the forbidden. That's a fun one. I have the Satanic Bible, but I can never concentrate enough to read it at home, so I haven't finished it. That's fine, Emery. I haven't read the Satanic Bible. I haven't read it. I've only read the Satanic Witches thing. That's only for women. It's for women to like empower themselves, I guess. It's interesting. There's a law of the forbidden, which I think is super interesting. So the law of forbidden is like you find sexy something that someone didn't know that was revealed. So so say you have two different women and one woman is in like this very slinky dress kind of walking around. That is sexy, absolutely. And then one woman is maybe she's in like a trench coat and it's zipped up and then there's a very short dress underneath, but then the wind blows the trench coat and you see a little bit of thigh. What's sexier? She doesn't know it's been seen, but it says in the book, and I'll never do this. It says in the book, like you're getting out of your car, um, sling your leg over, and then like, oh, absolutely drop something. Oh, I dropped something, and then like pick it up, and then get it. Oh, get flustered and get it together, and then like put your legs back together, and then that's way sexier than like a woman just exposing herself in a car because she didn't know. It's the law of the forbidden. Is that a Bible pussy? That's a Bible pussy. What else about the Satanic Witch? Again, I am not a Satanist, but I do find it interesting. I find human psychology very interesting. And I do think that whenever somebody has something slip, like a little nip slip or whatever, not that I would do it, but that's sexier than like just straight up showing your tit. You know what I mean? Because you're just like, oh, I don't know. Wait, what? Oh my God. And you're like embarrassed about it. Also, I don't know if I agree with this, but I'm not a man. But he said that dirty panties are sexy. And I don't agree with that. I try to keep myself very clean. I wash everything. I have a washer dryer that I keep it going with the underwear. I never wear it more than twice or more than once. But he says like there was a story of this woman who was in the 1950s and she was like climbing this ladder to, like in her office to put away a book. And then people noticed that her underwear was dirty. And then it was like this gossip around the office. She's got dirty underwear. She's dirty underwear. And then all these men like kept chatting her up. I don't know. The men watching this, do you like dirty underwear? I don't. I think it's disgusting. I love a witchy woman. That's fun. I'm gonna have another cigarette. I do have to boogie at 6:45 because I am recording 6:45 to 6:50. I'm recording at 7. Um, my second cigarette of the day. I know I'm a bad woman. Mm. I did meet someone and he's very nice. He's very, very nice and I enjoy hanging out with him. Um, so that's fun. I don't think he would like dirty underwear though. That's fucking nasty. But men, like, what do you think about that? What do you think about like, do you know or not if a woman's on her period? You know what I mean? Like, are you ever just kind of like, ah, and then she's just like, I'm on my period? Like, has that ever happened to you? I want to know for my own research. But definitely the shadow self is super interesting. The don't touch the pets that look different from the owner. I, in fact, saw something today. There was a woman walking a very big dog, and the dog was behaved. So, of course, like, she's not, you know, abusing it or whatever. Dog was behaved. And then somebody went to go touch it, and the dog just like backed up. And then she backed up and didn't like it. They don't like it. If the pet looks directly opposite to them, but if the pet looks direct to them, if it matches them physically, like I have a roommate and she has a very fluffy, sweet dog, and he's always like, like wagging his tail and whatnot, and she's like that. So she's loves it when like I pet the dog. But if the dog like looked directly opposite to her, it would be different. So F, no. Adam Levy wore that and he was a freaky deaky. Did Adam Levy wear a period thing? Did he wear a period necklace? I will not do that. I will not do that. And I will not wear dirty underwear. I don't care what this book says. It's interesting to read, but I will not wear my period on a necklace and I will not have dirty underwear. Muddy underpants. That's what this book says. They like muddy underpants. I think that's nasty. But also, I wonder how many people say, "Oh, that's nasty. I never would." And then at night, they're like, "Nasty underwear." Let's look this up. I don't know. I do find shadow self so interesting. And I'm discovering this in myself. Like, the more I grow, um, like I used to be on stage very sort of verbal about like sex and men, and I actually wasn't even having a lot of sex. Like it took me like reading this book and like piecing it together in quarantine to figure out myself. Like I actually wasn't sleeping around. I'm actually very kind of like cold, not cold with men, but just kind of like guarded because I don't want to let a stranger in my castle because they could ruin my life. You know what I mean? But I was just on stage, just rowdy as hell, and I just wasn't having sex. It's often also the women you find, like, and I don't know. I don't know if this is true or not, but like the women you find that are like, I'm having lots and lots and lots of sex and I love it and I'm sexually liberated, they're not. And the women that are like, I'm a virgin and I'm sweet and I'm just here for you, baby, they're having the most sex. If that makes sense. What are you recording at 7? I am recording Brighter Side. We're going to do a 12 things that we are happy about. And Brighter Side is all about positivity. So at a time we are very negative, I'm trying to find 12 things I'm very happy about. Let's see. I'm gonna list them. What am I happy about? Eggs. I'm happy about sunlight. I'm happy about the color pink. I'm happy about good music. I'm happy about greenery. I'm happy about God. I'm happy about the subway system that's still up and running. Spoiler alert. I know. I'm happy about shapes. I like circles and triangles. I'm happy about skincare products like face masks. Those are nice. If you're ever feeling down, go get a face mask. They're literally $1 at Walgreens or Target, or if you have anything anywhere. They're $1. Put one on, let it sit in there for like 20 minutes. You're gonna feel really good. I'm happy about um, a, a nice chat I've had with a gentleman the past few times. I'm happy about um, two more. I'll figure it out. Hey, Jessica. Yes, this live stream is a little fun and funky and all over the place. Yes, we are talking about the Satanic Witch and our happiness. I'm trying to quit smoking, but I'll have sometimes I'll have none a day. Sometimes I'll have 3. If I'm bad, I'll have like 8. That's a bad day. But every sort of because I've contacted streams, or I've contacted you know, phone services that are um, quit smoking. And they they ask me, so how many times do you want to get up in the middle of the night to go smoke? And I'm like, never. And they're like, when do you have your first smoke in the morning? And I was like, I don't really smoke in the morning. And they're like, do you link smoking to emotion? And I was like, no, not really. I just kind of want one occasionally, and sometimes I don't. I went and saw my mom for a week, and I just didn't have one. And they were like, I could see them, I could hear them get really quiet. And I knew they wanted to be like, Miss, can you please hang up the phone so we can get to a real smoker? There should be a smoking book for people that only want to smoke 3 or 4 a day, if that. I read The Easy Way to Quit Smoking, and the guy said, oh, so we all know we smoke 22 cigarettes a day. And I was like, excuse me? Excuse me, 22 cigarettes a day. Happy about people that don't cut in line. Yes. The people that don't cut in line are treasures. But yeah, who smokes 22 cigarettes a day? I mean, I guess there's pack-a-day smokers. I know a lot of people that do. I just don't. I mean, I just like smoking 1 or 2 a day. Really, that's it. I know it's bad. I don't do it on dates. I feel bad because the guy I'm chatting with, he's probably watching the stream and he's seeing me smoke. And I haven't smoked in front of him. I won't, because he doesn't, and I don't want to put that on somebody. Just like my mom, when I go visit her, I won't smoke. Or there's a couple friends I have that don't like the smell of cigarettes, so I just won't have a cigarette in front of them. Easy peasy. It's fine. It's almost better that way. Get a vape and lower it down until it's just flavor, no nicotine. Yeah, GT, but now I'm addicted to this still. You know what I mean? It's still taking one addiction for another. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know what it is. Because I don't want to constantly, because the people I know who do vapes, they just are always on it. And I was talking to this girl and she's like, oh my God, you smoked 6 cigarettes yesterday? And I was like, yeah, how much did you smoke? She's like, I do a vape. And I was like, how much did you smoke? And she's like, oh, I did a whole cartridge this weekend. Oh, how much is that? Oh, that's a pack. So you smoke more. You smoke more with a vape. You're constantly puffing on it. I would like to have my smoke, have my peace, and then put it out. And then be like, okay, I had my cigarette. That's it. This is really bad. But if I'm around somebody that doesn't like it, I just won't smoke, because I like to respect people's boundaries. I also don't really. When I had this, if you can tell, it's been about. I'll have to leave in about a little bit. Oh, that's my alarm. I'll have to leave in a little bit to go record, but yeah, this is fun. Definitely know your limits, know your boundaries, and I've been sipping on this. It's my first sort of drink of the day. I've also stopped drinking a lot. I don't know what it is. I think I'm like trying to keep in check with myself, and if I'm drinking too much, I'm gonna feel bad. I still have this because it was ingrained in me. The like sky god that really cares about you, that wants you to be moral to yourself. And I know a lot of people say that's bullshit, but um, I definitely do think about like hurting my own temple, I guess, for the sky god. I don't know. I don't know what this is, but I got a boogie because I'm gonna record in like 10 minutes. But thank you everybody. I hope you have a good night. This is a very fun stream. We've had like 13, 15 people here. This is good. So next week it will be at 7. Today we had to do 6 for the 7 o'clock podcast. But okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.